core, I think that Bend is beautiful.
Bend is bicycles, Bend is fishing.
The weather, the amount of blue sky, the trails.
Your outdoor sports, skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing.
Sport or food or beer, it's just a great place to come hang out.
The best place, I've ever lived.
Ultimately, Bend is just awesome.
Beer-wise, Bend is amazing. It is really cultured by Deschutes.
Deschutes is Granddad. You're never going to be bigger, you're never going to be older, you're never going to be better than Granddad.
They paved the way for all the other breweries here in Bend.
So this pub is the original pub where everything got started for Deschutes back in '88. This brew house is, very similar to what it was back then as well. The small batch brewing, having customers right outside the window over there watching us do what we do. It's a lot of fun.
We have a very flexible 2-barrel system where we split from the lauter tun into a pre-run tank into 2 kettles where we can make 2 unique 1-barrel batches from the same mash. So we can test different hopping regimes, different yeast fermentation profiles, and know that we're getting the same thing from the mash. So we can walk a keg, 200 yards from the pilot brewery to the tasting room, get immediate feedback, and change the recipe on Monday.
Things are changing, right? Constantly here at 10 Barrel, and we started in a small 1,500 square feet, brewery, quite a few years ago, and now we're in, the brewery has grown quite a bit and had expansions almost the entire span of the life of the brewery. I think anybody who calls us non-craft, right, has never been to our brewery or has never met any of our brewers, right? I'm proud of the fact that we took a chance before a lot of other breweries took a chance. There was no proof that the strategic partnership was going to work out and that everything was going to come together, and it did.
For our little business model, right, it's a lot of breweries are making beer that they can brew and turn around and sell within 2 to 4 weeks. We're looking at 2 years for every batch. Breweries are just so industrial, right? And that was one of my main goals with this project, is to create something that is not industrial. It does not have industrial components. So it's not processed, but we also don't use many cleaning chemicals. And so as a result, we brew sour beers or wild beers, right? It's not because we're going after brewing sour and wild beers exclusively. It's because what we've said is we would rather not use these cleaning sanitizers and all the chemicals that contemporary breweries use.
Crux is unique mainly because of the people. It is a brewer's brewery. We're not in it for the money. We're in it to make beer. You come here and it's not about IPAs. It's not about pales. It's all the way from pre-prohibition lagers to 25 Plato, dark beers, tough love, barrel-aged beers. So it's all over the map. I like to tell people it's my retirement program, and I don't really need to work, and I just love making beer.
Here at Boneyard, I got a great team of guys, including myself, not so humble. I've been doing this for dang near 30 years. What brewer doesn't want to, at one point in time, get their own operation going and start a brewery? So we're able to do that about 7.5 years ago. I think we bring some high quality liquids to the table. The name kind of refers to the ability for us to have sourced a bunch of used equipment creatively from one friend or one associate or one broker, one piece of equipment at a time, reconfigure those and repurpose them to suit our needs to make a batch of beer. That's all we got. That's how we got going.
I never in a million years would have thought we'd be on stage for Small Brewing Company of the Year, but we just have a never-ending quest for improving our beer, and I think that validates a lot of our processes. We hold beer quality in the highest regards. People work really hard for their money, and I really want them to get the best bang for their buck as far as value. Our beers need to be consistent, they need to be super high quality, and I just want people to feel like they're getting their money's worth when they buy our product.
When we opened, we always wanted a canned beer. It was even before we opened. We were talking to people. We're like, we're gonna can beer. When you're clanking up a mountain with, you know, a 6-pack in your backpack, it's clink, clink, clink. You can hear everybody walking up the trail doing that. Can just make sense. You can't break them. They're more, you know, adventure lifestyle driven. So we want to do cans because of the lifestyle we live here in Bend.
Oh man, I don't have my crystal ball.
The future of the beer scene in Bend it's a diverse landscape.
I think it looks pretty exciting.
Small, eclectic barrel houses, wild fermentation, sour programs.
I really think it looks bright. I mean, and the question is, like, when do we hit saturation point, right? I mean, how many breweries can Bend take? And, you know, I don't think we've hit it yet.
There's a crowded space out there. It's difficult to get a tap handle in Bend anymore with the ciders, with the kombuchas, and all the different breweries.
I think you'd have to have a really good idea who your customer is going to be, right? I mean, coming into this town being like, I'm going to start a brewery. You know, there's a lot of breweries, and there's a fair amount of diversity.
I think that it's just going to be more experimentation. You know, we're going to be continuing to push the envelope.
I think it's just going to become more and more integrated into people's lives and their families.